extraordinary music.
What's going on, Masterclass family? This is your boy, Mr. Adams, bringing you the Black Friday trades of the day. There were too many great trades on Friday for me not to make the time to do a video, so I wanted to get one done really quickly and get it out to you guys so you can see how it's really just the same patterns over and over and over again, just to confirm that theory. So today we're going to do a couple different ones. I'm going to make it quick, but I'm going to start off with Gild, G-I-L-D. I believe GILD was a 23-1. Looking back at Gild over the last few days, we can see that it consolidated for a good 3 to 4 days. It couldn't break this price level right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 days, this price level right around 82. It just couldn't break it. That's a form of consolidation, and I'm sure if we looked at it on the daily chart, we would probably see a TTM squeeze or maybe a TTM squeeze on a 1 hour chart. However, I noticed something on Gild at about 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning. Suddenly, the stock just completely gapped up to that level, and then it held above the married levels for a good, what appears to be, hour or two before the market opened. And I found that odd, but I knew that the stock was likely to run higher, considering that it had this gap up late in the midnight hour when everyone was asleep. Something was strange about that. And then you take a look at the gap that happened from here to here, which was, let's see, what, 80, 89 to $82. You had dual money flow, tons of it. When the stock market opened at 9:30, the stock immediately just took off. One of our members, Sean Smith, he was up instantly $1,000. And sold it. He ultimately missed the rest of this move. He was so excited about the 1,000, he probably would have made about 5,000 had he held, but he did make 1,000 because he held the stock overnight when we bought it on Thursday. You had a ton of volume here that supported this large move up. Stock ran for a good 30 minutes, then had a very hard pullback, but it pulled back to VWAP and the 10-day moving average, which is dual support. And then it tested that support level on VWAP again at about 11:15. This is where I took my second entry here, and I bought the 83.50 calls for 54 cents, and I caught a good portion of this move for the rest of the day to snatch a double off of Gild. But I think it ultimately finished at a triple, and I believe the stock is going higher. Why do I believe that? Let's take a look at our different time frame analysis. Looking at Gild on the 30-minute, we can see once again they had actually been consolidating for about a week at this 82 level here before it finally broke. And it's above the cloud, which we love to see. Taking a look at the 1 hour, there's your TTM squeeze. Like I said, you more than likely had. It's above all of the moving averages. Stock's been consolidating, and then boom, the TTM squeeze exploded, just like trained in the manual. If we take a look at the daily chart here, we'll see that after an explosion on January 9th, above the 100 and the 50 and the 20, we began to form a flag here. And this was the consolidation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account. I'm sorry. I started sinking Savage Zone. That's my joint. Anyway, you have a flag here, and then it broke out. Perfect bull flag. It was extended away from the 10-day moving average on a daily chart. Once they began to interact again, the stock took off. A lot of chalky money flow on a daily chart. If we take a look at the weekly chart, the stock last week had closed above the 100-day moving average. It gave us some consolidation in between the 200 and the 100. And just broke above the 200 now. So the stock is going places. It's on Trade Nation. It's on CNBC. A lot of people are talking about this stock, and it's possibilities. Next thing I want to bring up really quick is this options chain. So in Gild, give me 1 second, wait for it. The 83 calls were from 10 cents to $2.36. That's a 23 to 1 move. That's 23 times your money in a day. Not to mention that I had it on a Masterclass watch list that I put out on Twitter. So it was given to you. If you didn't get in, if you were not in the day before, or if you didn't get in first thing in the morning, you definitely could have got in on the pullback and made 3 times your money from here, 11, until the market close if you just simply rolled the 20-day or the 10 and 20-day moving average here. And I just got out if you had weekly contracts. Next, we're going to do just a really quick review on another stock, and this was Twitter. Twitter was on our watch list as well. Personally, I'm frustrated with Twitter because I was giving you guys the alert before I even took the trade. I had Sean put out the alert about 9:45. As you can see, it's gold. Levels are just about married. Consolidated for a good 20 minutes. Then he had an igniting candle that broke above the married levels, and Twitter was gone from there. All right. Dual money flow, all the things that we typically like to see. That's on a 5-minute chart. Now, what's interesting about Twitter on our different time frames, something I want to point out here is the daily chart. A lot of people have been bullish on Twitter for weeks. However, on the daily chart, Twitter has fallen from $25.85 all the way to $22. It was underneath the 50-day moving average. However, found some sort of support, and it was gone. So what I like to look for, so we can catch these type of moves, is to find stocks that's above the 100-day moving average, yet underneath the 50. Because 9 times out of 10, if a stock is in a strong uptrend, it's going to bounce off of that 50. It may come underneath it for a day or two, but in a matter of time, if the stock is in a strong uptrend, it's going to find some buyers, and the stock is going to ignite back up towards its previous high. So I believe Twitter is definitely going back to 25.85. As you can see on the weekly chart on Twitter, it held its 10-day moving average, and once again, the 200 is still support, which is at 26. The 30-minute and a 1 hour on Twitter is not necessarily ideal for us because the stock was underneath both of the clouds. However, the ignition for the 50 made this a worthwhile watch, considering that the stock is in an overall trend. So it doesn't meet our cloud criteria on the 30-minute and 1 hour. However, an exception can be made when something is testing off for the 50-day moving average. Okay, and I believe Twitter was a 33 to 1. I'm going to do one more stock. Like I say, there's many that I can cover. This next stock is ABBV. One of our members had positioned themselves, Matt, very well because it's something he saw on the daily chart, on the monthly chart for ABBV months ago. And he did very well, 6-figure well. ABBV had earnings yesterday, and as you can see here on the 5-minute chart, the stock literally took off and went $14 higher. Similar to Gild, ABBV prior to had consolidation for days. Once again, guys, it's just the same thing over and over. 1, 2, 3, 4 days of consolidation. Thought I was going to see that 21 Savage song again, didn't you? After they released earnings in the pre-market, the stock gapped up above pivot levels and held that level around 8 o'clock, then just continued to trend higher throughout the day. Once again, I believe ABBV was a 50 to 1. After the market opened, to get you a quick pullback to these layered support levels of the 10 and the VWAP in the 20. And once again, that's a consistent pattern when you have something in a strong uptrend on a 5-minute chart. A pullback to the VWAP in 10. That's a layered pullback. It did it again around 10:10. Pullback to the 10 in VWAP and continue trading higher for the day. If we take a look at it on the multi-time frame analysis, as you can see, ABBV on both the 30-minute and the 1 hour looks just like Gild Twtr. Days of consolidation leading up to earnings, and then boom, it's gone. It exceeded expectations. Same thing on a 1 hour chart. You even have the TTM squeeze. You have a flat cloud above all the moving averages, gap up and gone. Money flow is thick on a weekly chart. Been consolidating, slowly grinding higher for weeks, gone. And let's see, the daily chart has been consolidating for days, months, literally, on the daily chart. The chalky money flow changed right here around January, I believe, in anticipation to great earnings. Stock still held the 10-day moving average. No extravagant moves. I guess it was saving all of the steam, or building steam for this big move ahead for earnings. And I really believe that ABBV is going higher, because looking at this 3-year here, this is the highest that it's ever been. I'm not sure if that's the case. I will take a quick look at the monthly chart over a 20-year period to see what we're working with. Yeah, so this is all-time highs for ABBV. Definitely keep it on watch, because this stock is going higher. And ABBV was a 50 to 1 on the options chain that I had seen yesterday. So stocks we looked at today were Gild Twtr, ABBV, all the same setup. They've been consolidating for the last few days. They formed a gold. Some of them had earnings. Some of them broke off with a 50-day moving average. And voila, huge results. It's been a great week overall. You know, it's just important to stay focused, do your research, set your alerts, and be prepared. Because one trade like this, with the right position size, could literally change your life. Ask Mr. Matthew Caraway. Masterclass, dominate.